Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Michelle, and here on this channel I make mommy videos and I also vlog. But for the month of November I am doing an allergy awareness series, so I will link the previous videos in the description box and in an iCard here so you can kind of go back and see previous episodes. So for today's episode I am going to be doing another allergy kind of Q&A. This time I spoke with a friend who is also a teacher, and so she's coming from that kind of perspective. That's her lens that she's coming from, and kind of answering some questions about how she feels about how allergies are treated or educated in the school system. The first question that I had for her was, how do you handle allergies in your classroom? This is an important question because you kind of want to know how it's being treated, you know, where your kid spends most of their day. And her answer was, doesn't always come into contact with students' lunches because she does teach a rotary subject. She said, however, sometimes they have celebrations or potlucks in their classes, and in these cases she makes sure that she purchases items that have a peanut-free label, and she's conscious of allergies when purchasing items for the celebration. She said, that being said, sometimes products may come with a may contain warning. For example, they had a potluck breakfast. She made pancakes with her students, and the package came with the warning label, contains eggs, wheat, milk, and may contain tree nuts. And in this case, she had a student who had a severe allergy to nuts and carried an EpiPen with them at all times, and she advised him to avoid eating the pancakes just in case, and instead he had another nut-free item instead. That's a really great thing that she did, that she made sure that she was very conscious of the things that were coming into her classroom, being aware of the student that had an allergy and kind of letting him know, like, this is an option for you and this may not be an option. As long as there's another option for the student, they also still feel included, and it also helps to prevent them from eating something that they shouldn't. The second question that I asked was, do you feel that the parents and students are well educated about allergies? And her response is, I believe that the parents of students with allergies are well educated about the potential risks for their children. However, there are always new allergens that people have never heard of, and so we always need to be aware of what could potentially harm students and staff with allergies. For parents whose children do not have allergies, I feel that they could do more to mitigate risks posed to these students. For example, one of the biggest policies of the school for parents is to provide their children with prepackaged snacks with labels so that students are not unknowingly bringing in harmful foods. Parents can also remind their children about washing their hands after eating. And I think that's a great thing to do because sometimes they don't think about, even if they ate something, that it could be just, the oils on their hands or something that could come into contact with another student. And I think she brought up a really great point that I actually didn't address in these questions, and it's something that I definitely should have. So looking back, for me, I should have asked the question about staff as well, because she did mention that that they need to be aware of potentially harmful items for staff and students. And so that goes for staff too, in the workplace, making sure that when you bring something in, if you do a treat day or you do a staff potluck, that you're making sure that you bring items. So I know that at my workplace, when there's a treat day or a potluck, people will leave the packages on the table next to the food. They'll put a sign of what it is, and they'll leave the package there so that people can read it for themselves and see what's in it, if it's something they can or can't eat. Because sometimes, when you have a staff of, let's say 40 plus people, you're not going to know every single person maybe who has an allergy or an intolerance or a sensitivity to foods. But if you leave the packaging and the labels there, then they're able to read it and see if it's something that they should or should not eat. The third question was, what advice do you have for parents who have children entering the school system? And she said, To be vocal about your allergy, let your teacher and friends know what allergies you have and what potential triggers are. Remind your children not to share food and drinks with their friends, as they do not always know what are in the products of other students' lunches. If you eat a product that has a known allergen to another student, wash your hands and rinse your mouth before you approach or interact with that student. If sending in food for a class party, example, birthday cupcakes, holiday parties, purchase prepackaged products that come with a peanut-free label. If you're going to send in homemade treats, send your child with a label of all the ingredients they contain. So I think those are some great things to do when you have a child entering school. I know some schools, for the last point, some schools just don't allow food into the school. So instead of bringing in, cupcakes for your birthday, you can bring in like pencils for your friends or something, because some schools will just say we don't allow to bring in any foods, whether it's, prepackaged or not. Some schools will just say that's a no, just to avoid that completely. But definitely these options to make sure that everybody knows what's in it. And sometimes you don't know what other kids are allowed or aren't allowed to eat. And then there's some kids who end up getting left out because they can't eat the treat. And so sometimes maybe sending an alternative that's not food-based is a great idea so that those kids with allergies don't feel left out. Question number 4 was, what do you think the education system could do to improve the education of staff, students, and parents? And question number 5 was, what concerns do you have in regards to allergy awareness and prevention in your workplace? And so she combined these into one answer. And what she said was, at the start of each school year, all staff members must complete a review of the board's policies on allergy prevention and protocol. We review the story of Sabrina Shannon and Sabrina's Law, which requires all schools and school boards in Ontario to create and maintain individual plans for students who are at risk for anaphylaxis. Part of the training includes videos on how to administer an EpiPen or Allerject if a student should go into anaphylactic shock. While the videos are clear and we are instructed to always call 911 regardless, I think that the schools should have live demonstrations. It is not mandatory for teachers to have CPR training. There only needs to be 1 to 2 designated staff per school. But I think that all staff should have their CPR training and include training on using an EpiPen or Allerject device. This would especially be helpful for teachers who do not have allergies or kids with allergies and therefore have never had to use one. And I think that's really great. That I think, yes, there could be a little bit more of a separate in-depth training so that staff feel that they are well equipped to deal with allergies. She also said that each student's OSR, which is the Ontario Student Record, is available online to teachers and is updated yearly and is marked/highlighted with information about a student's specific allergy or allergies. Teachers are also provided with an emergency binder with the pages of the OSR printed, so that it is available to supply teachers as well. Although I don't think that supply teachers properly review this book when they come in to sub for a teacher, even though I leave instructions at the top of my day plans for supplies to review the binder, I think it needs to be something that maybe the administration follows up with at the end of a day, especially because it's somebody coming into the room who does not regularly interact with the students. And so I feel like this is great and definitely true and can also apply to maybe volunteers coming in. She said that pictures of students with severe allergies are also posted in the staff room so that teachers can be aware of these students. However, I think that the admin should address all of these students to staff in a meeting so that they're also aware. Also said that students with severe allergies have to travel with their EpiPen at all times. Usually they put it in a special lunch bag, or some parents will purchase a little pouch. It just looks like a little tiny fanny pack that just holds their EpiPen. However, this needs to be part of the field trip procedures and protocols, because often it can be overlooked when planning a school trip. She also said that school boards should have, so this is the part where she says, what concerns does she have or what she thinks could be done, is that school board should have an allergy awareness day or evening where students, staff, and parents are invited to learn about different allergies, prevention, and safe food alternatives. So I think that is also a fantastic idea. It's great to kind of give it its own time to talk about it, learn about it, and kind of go over some of that stuff that, you know, you assume people know. It also goes back to that fact that sometimes we assume something, we assume that people know, and they maybe don't. So maybe we need to pay more attention to that and give more attention to allergies and to the education of others. Anyways, guys, those were all the questions that I had for my teacher friend, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that it was helpful for some of you who maybe have kids going to school, who are in school, and you were kind of wondering how all of that works. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below and I will definitely answer them. Also, as always, the web page or the Facebook page for the Fate Initiative will be linked down below, as well as the GoFundMe page for my friend Joanna, and so her family can continue their great work that they are doing. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed, hit that red subscribe button so you can see my next part of this series and future videos. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.